Matthew Davidson again. I just wanted to come to you today for just a few minutes and kind of challenge skeptics and people that don't believe in the Bible, and skeptics of the Bible, and skeptics of Christianity, and different things like different people like that. But just a little thought. Um, I hear a lot of people saying, a lot of people that don't believe in the Bible are skeptical of it. That the Bible is just written by people. It's just it's a man-made thing. It can't be the Word of God, and it's just men's opinions, and maybe it was, some people did see something that they thought was from God, but it was probably just a delusion and different things like that. And so I just want to challenge you with something. If you look at the basic premise behind most of the other world religions besides Christianity, and the other philosophies out there that aren't necessarily religions, but they're philosophies that are followed in a religious manner, like atheism, I guess materialism, whatever it might be, all the isms out there, Hinduism, Buddhism, which are kind of religio philosophies, which means that they believe in something, but it's not quite the same thing as God, the way we as Christians understand it. But most of the religions in the world, whether it's Catholic, whether it's pagan, whether it's whatever, the big religions that we all know of, Hinduism, Buddhism, Mormonism, even to some extent, well, actually to a great extent, most of the world's religions, they teach the basic premise, regardless of how they get to it, regardless of how they work it out, regardless of the icons that they use, regardless of the way they go about it, the final product, if you want to say it that way, is basically man's exaltation. It's man's exaltation to a higher plane of existence, man's reward with some sort of thing that basically appeals to the flesh, whether it's 70 virgins or getting your own world, or having your whatever it is, walking on streets of gold. And I do understand that the Bible does talk about streets of gold, but it's not really the point of heaven. Even though there are streets of gold there, it's not the point. The point is that it's something God gave us. But the big world religions, the Buddhism has the idea of working your way to an eventual point where you are one with the universe, the universal consciousness. And I guess Hinduism has something similar like that. Most of your Far East religions, Zoroastrianism, Confucianism, and whatever, and even some of the ones that claim to be Christians, like Jehovah's Witness and LDS, Mormons, whatever, and some of the Catholic, and it all basically boils down to, I do this for God, and God gives me this. He gives me a reward. So that's the basic premise behind most, if not all, of the world's religions. The only one that really stands out in that, it's not based on what I'm doing and what I'm going to get for myself out of this thing, what God owes me because I did what I followed the steps, I followed the rules, I obeyed the laws, I went through the ceremonies, I said the prayers, I was good to people and generous to people and helped the old lady across the street, whatever it was. The only one that really stands out as different, as far as I know, is the faith that we call Christianity. Not necessarily everyone under the umbrella of Christianity or Christendom, but Christianity in general, in the Bible version of Christianity, the biblical Christian religion, stands apart, because in the biblical Christian religion, if you want to call it that, faith, whatever you want to call it, it's God who's doing the works, and we who are reaping the reward. And the reward is not something that God owes us. It's not something that we worked for. It's not something that we earn by going through rituals or being religious or whatever. The reward really is when it all boils down is to be with God for eternity. And so here's my challenge to people who say that the Bible is just man-made, it's just written by man, and even people like atheists. Atheists. The philosophy behind Darwinism and atheism basically is that man is progressing to a higher form of intelligence and will eventually become, either eternal or quasi-eternal. But here's my challenge. My challenge to you to think about this is, if the Bible was written by men, by human beings, and only by them. Yes, it was penned by human beings, but if it is the product of the mind and will of human beings, then why doesn't it agree with the the basic structure of all the world's religions and philosophies? Why isn't it a book that says do this, do this, do this, and you'll get this reward? Why is it a book that talks about God having mercy and God giving grace and people being born basically apart from God and not being able to work to get to that higher plane of existence or that reward? Why is it that if it's written by humans and only by humans, and if it's the product of humans, why does it do that? Why does it not agree with the doctrine that the beliefs that most human religions and philosophies agree with in some form or another? The the attainment of reward for doing what God says to do. Why does the Bible, out of all the different religious books, why does it disagree with that? Why does it not say that that is how we gain favor with God, by doing good things and being good people? The Bible, conversely, says the exact opposite. It says we are not good. There is nobody who's good. We can't impress God with anything we do. The earth and everything in it belong to the Lord. There's no house that you can build for him. There's nothing you can do for him. He owns everything. He doesn't need anything from us. He is completely self-sufficient. And it is we who need him, not he who needs us. And he does not owe us anything. So that's my challenge to you, whoever you might be today. So just to think about that. You don't even have to answer. I'm just trying to challenge you with this thought. The Bible, the biblical religion, the faith of Christ, the faith of Christianity, and as it is written in the Bible, it's not about doing things to get a reward. It's about depending on God. And God, at the end of the day, so to speak, is the reward. So I'll challenge you with that. And if you want to answer me, go ahead. If you want to argue, disagree, whatever, fine. Try to keep it clean. Try to keep it positive. But that's all I really wanted to say. I'm not going to pull out a bunch of Bible verses and preach a sermon. This is just something that kind of occurred to me recently, and I just wanted to put it out there. All right. Bye.